Flanders, French, Flandre, today normally refers to the Dutch-speaking northern portion of Belgium. It is one of the communities, regions and language areas of Belgium. The demonym associated with Flanders is Fleming, while the corresponding adjective is Flemish. The official capital of Flanders is Brussels, although Brussels itself has an independent regional government, and the government of Flanders only oversees some cultural aspects of Brussels life. Historically, the name referred to the county of Flanders, which around 1000 CE stretched from the Strait of Dover to the Scheldt estuary. The only parts of historical Flanders that lay within modern-day Flanders are the provinces West Flanders and East Flanders. Nevertheless, during the 19th and 20th centuries it became increasingly commonplace to use the term Flanders to refer to the entire Dutch-speaking part of Belgium, stretching all the way to the River Maas. In accordance with late 20th century Belgian state reforms, the area was made into two political entities, the Flemish Community and the Flemish Region. These entities were merged, although geographically the Flemish Community, which has a broader cultural mandate, covers Brussels, whereas the Flemish Region does not. Flanders has figured prominently in European history. During the late Middle Ages, cities such as Ghent, Bruges, Antwerp and Brussels made it one of the richest and most urbanized parts of Europe, weaving the wool of neighboring lands into cloth for both domestic use and export. As a consequence, a very sophisticated culture developed, with impressive achievements in the arts and architecture, rivaling those of northern Italy. Belgium was one of the centers of the 19th century Industrial Revolution, but Flanders was at first overtaken by French-speaking Wallonia. In the second half of the 20th century, however, Flanders' economy modernized rapidly, and today Flanders is more wealthy and prosperous than its southern counterpart. Geographically, Flanders is generally flat, and has a small section of coast on the North Sea. Much of Flanders is agriculturally fertile and densely populated, with a population density of almost 500 people per square kilometre. It borders France to the west, the Netherlands to the north and east, and Wallonia to the south. The Brussels capital region is an enclave within the Flemish region. Flanders has exclaves of its own. Voeren in the east is between Wallonia and the Netherlands, and Baarle-Hertog in the north consists of 22 exclaves surrounded by the Netherlands. Terminology. In Belgium the term Flanders has several main meanings. The Flemish community or Flemish nation, i.e., the social, cultural and linguistic, scientific and educational, economical and political community of the Flemings. It comprises 6.5 million Belgians who consider Dutch to be their mother tongue. The political subdivisions of Belgium, the Flemish region and the Flemish community. The first does not comprise Brussels, whereas the latter does. The political institutions that govern both subdivisions, the operative body, Flemish government, and the legislative organ, Flemish parliament. The two westernmost provinces of the Flemish region, West Flanders and East Flanders, forming the central portion of the historic county of Flanders. In Belgium and neighboring countries, a feudal territory that existed from the 8th century until its absorption by the French First Republic. Until the 1600s, this county also extended over parts of France and the Netherlands. One of the regions conquered by the French in Flanders, namely French Flanders in the Nord department. French Flanders can be divided into two smaller regions, Lillois Flanders and Maritime Flanders. The first region was predominantly French-speaking already in the 1600s. The latter became so in the 20th century. The city of Lille identifies itself as Flemish, and this is reflected, for instance, in the name of its local railway station TGV Lille-Flandres. The region conquered by the Dutch Republic in Flanders, now part of the Dutch province of Zeeland. Dutch-speaking part of Belgium. The significance of the county of Flanders and its counts eroded through time, but the designation remained in a very broad sense. In the early modern period, the term Flanders was associated with the southern part of the Low Countries, the southern Netherlands. During the 19th and 20th centuries, it became increasingly commonplace to refer to the Dutch-speaking part of Belgium as Flanders. The linguistic limit between French and Dutch was recorded in the early 60s, from Kortrijk to Maastricht. Now, Flanders extends over the northern part of Belgium, including Belgian Limburg, and the Belgian parts of the medieval Duchy of Brabant. The ambiguity between this wider area and that of the county still remains. In most present-day contexts, however, in general the term Flanders is taken to refer to either the political, social, cultural, and linguistic community, or the geographical area, one of the three institutional regions in Belgium, namely the Flemish region. In the history of art and other fields, the adjectives Flemish and Netherlandish are commonly used to designate all the artistic production in this area before about 1580. After which it refers specifically to the southern Netherlands. For example, the term Flemish primitives, now outdated in English but used in French, Flemish and other languages, is a synonym for early Netherlandish painting, and it is not uncommon to see Mosaic art categorized as Flemish art. In music, the Franco-Flemish school is also known as the Dutch school. Within this Dutch-speaking part of Belgium is commonplace. French has never ceased to be spoken by some citizens, and Jewish groups have been speaking Yiddish in Antwerp for centuries. Today, Flanders minority residents include 170 nationalities, the largest groups speaking French, English, Berber, Turkish, Arabic, Spanish, Italian and Polish.